Sisters bonafide. Sisters bonafide. Sisters bonafide. My sister and me.
Hello, everybody. This is such a pleasure for us. I hope everybody's doing well. Stephanie and I are just extremely pleased to welcome Miss LaVerne Berry as our third social media sisters guest on our show. Thank you so much, LaVerne, for joining us. How are you doing today?
I am good. Thank you for having me. I thank you guys for this opportunity to be a part of this show.
The pleasure is all ours, and we're just intrigued to have you to hear more about your story and everything that makes you who you are. We're also really interested about your clothing line, very unique design, which is fantastic. We had a chance to look that up as well. So thank you so much for you being on our episode. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
What we're trying to do here is just show, not only talk about it, but show the sisterhood and show that it is okay to genuinely and wholeheartedly support other women. And it's okay to not always have that light, shined on yourself, but to put the spotlight on some other wonderful women as well who are trying to do wonderful and positive things. So that is essentially what we're doing with Social Media Sisters. We just want to say, we see you, we see what you're doing, and we want to bring you on our platform and give our viewers a chance to get to know you as well.
So, listen, this whole pandemic, it in one sense, it's been a curse. It's almost felt like a curse in one sense. And then on the other hand, for some people, it's felt like a blessing. Kind of like both.
Yeah.
For me, it has really stretched a lot of us and things that we weren't doing or thinking of doing before, or maybe procrastinated with doing. It kind of put a fire under our behinds.
Yeah.
And, it stretched us, and it's like, okay, even with technology and everything, I know there were a lot of complaints initially when we first started, and there were different things that I had to do because I work also with youth at my church, and so it was like, okay, now how am I going to set this up? I got to make sure I have an account, this is that, and I was just like, I was like learning, really quickly, and now it's like, okay, this is good, and then we see all the things that we can do on this platform. Had it not been, we probably would have not been able or even thought to do some of the things that we've been doing. We've been doing so much through Zoom, so much through Facebook Live, you know what I mean? So, and it's provided a platform for people that maybe once weren't able to be heard, or people didn't know about or recognize. It's kind of like you can create your own platform. Yeah, you can do that now.
Exactly.
So, you create your own platform, you create your own opportunity. So, the pandemic, it has been something else, but I must say that it has definitely also been a blessing as well, because it pushed me out of my comfort zone in so many ways. Even right now, interview, no.
Right. Yeah.
I think so.
Exactly.
Go. You gotta go now. So it's like I said, it's given a lot of us a jump start. It's provided us time to do the things that we needed to do, build our businesses and stuff. Right. A lot of us that are working our 9-to-5s and stuff, it's been crazy. And some of us have been wanting to come off, and some of us have been trying to figure out what to do. And we've had time to actually build what we're doing, and not another man's dream, but to sow into what it is we've been wanting to do all this year. So it's like, hopefully a lot of people didn't allow this time to be of waste. In the midst of everything going on, they actually hopefully took advantage of the time to build. So I'm learning. I don't know what to say.
Have the floor.
Yes.
And basically, I was brought up and raised in Albany, New York. So the capital of New York City. But I've been here most of my life. I've lived in Queens, New York, the majority of my life. I've always kind of been a very creative type of person, kid, talented. I like arts and things of that nature. And it's funny because as you get older, you realize there's a lot of different things that you've taken on or that you do that you didn't realize people in your family did. You're like, oh, wow, I didn't know that cousin so and so far removed did
Right.
this and that. And so I've discovered a lot of the creative aspects of my life. There were other people that had gone before me and other people that are even in my family that I'm aware of now that's living that, did a lot of things, arts wise, creative wise, singing wise. And so that's what I grew up in a home where we did a lot of singing. I grew up in church. My dad was a pastor. And so me and my sisters, we did a lot of singing. And from there, I moved on into, grammar school. You're doing the whole talent show thing and Glee Club. I was always joining different things like that.
Great.
You have to show us some of those vocal skills.
Yes.
That.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, God. So a lot of those things kind of help cultivate. Of course, you don't see it when you're growing up, but a lot of those things help to cultivate me going through school and singing in the choirs.
Right.
Coming to the point to where when I got into high school, I was like, I want to be in performing arts. So I went to school for theater arts.
Yeah.
I did that, went into college, and I was there for a couple of years. And then I left college, and then I went to go get my cosmetology degree. So I was kind of like still feeling my way. I was kind of all over. I tell anyone a lot of times when you're in high school coming out, you really don't. You may not. Now, this generation is a little bit different, and I'm probably aging myself by saying that.
No.
A lot of them probably know exactly what they want to do, and they're starting business early. But my generation, we were kind of like late bloomers. So, I was still trying to figure out what it is I wanted to do. I knew it was something creative, but so I went to school. I got my hair degree. I went to FIT for a little bit for pattern making, and then I ended back up at Baruch, which is where I started. And went to got my major degree in graphic design, and that's where it all just kind of started going. That's where it landed me with the graphic arts, and like I said, with the singing, that was like day one. Just having those two things, the creative art of singing and the creative art of designing. That was just kind of
So that's followed you. Isn't it interesting though how we go back to those things that we kind of didn't nurture at first, and then it comes around full circle. It's like if you have a purpose, it may not come at the time you want it to, but if it's your purpose, I believe in that. Like it'll happen when it's supposed to. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. You're right.
Exactly. Yeah. I think you're having explained your experience and your background, which is just so vibrant and beautiful. It kind of is a perfect segue to talk about your titles, like your creative consultant and worship leader titles. I think it definitely makes sense, and all of the facets that you've been into in your career, but could you touch upon like how did you settle on those two titles, and what do they exactly mean to you?
So with the creative consultant, it's kind of like my own spin on the word. It means to me someone that directs a design or art project, someone that advises, someone that without using the word, someone you can go to and they're able to advise, they're able to direct, they're able to point you in the right direction to be able to get you to where you want to go or what you're looking for in your concept, in your idea of what you want to do. So basically what I do is I specialize in transforming your vision into reality.
Right.
And that's where the whole creative consultant concept comes from.
Right.
And as far as a praise and worship leader, I'm that's what I do. That's who I am. That's my lifestyle is what I consider worship. And I serve at my local church as a worship leader on Sundays, and I'm not just on Sundays during this whole pandemic because we're not fully back.
Right.
So we're there. We have church virtually, and then every first and third we're physically in the building, social distancing still. So even with me being home, that was something initially. It was a little trying, because you're used to being out and singing with those that you serve with on Sundays and all of that, and rehearsals, and none of that was happening.
Yeah.
You're not looking to the left or the right and seeing a soprano or a tenor. It's just you.
Yeah.
It's just you. And so in that time, I created my own platform
Right.
to
Right.
still do what it is. If my lifestyle is worship, if singing is what I enjoy and love to do, how can I still do that and be of service to God and encourage other people without actually having to be in the building?
Yes.
And so I did the most scariest thing that I just started videoing myself singing, and I would just put it out there and turn off the computer and run. No, but it was, it's the funniest thing because a lot of times people feel you've been singing whatever, this is easy. It's you're not, and it's like even singers go through times where they're nervous or even before they go out, to sing or whatever they're going to do. We still get those jitters. We're still sometimes, we're still human, if I can be transparent, and so even with me being home, it was just like, oh God, I've had a lot of videos where people have videoed me and I'm like, oh, I don't want to see it. And they're like, oh, it's good, you got it. I'm like, okay, I trust you. I don't know, because I'm like my worst critic.
We all are,
so,
right?
Yes, we know what that's like.
Yes. Yes.
So, that's where, the whole, scope, that was one of the things that I used as a plus. I couldn't be in the building. So I created that sanctuary in my home and ministered there.
Excellent. Excellent.
So, first of all, I have to say, like, I personally, and I haven't come across any other Instagram page, which is where we first saw what you were doing, anything like what you have in terms of your designs and how you're still following with your creativity, but basing it on your faith. So I haven't seen that, and I love that because you're doing what you want to do, but you're not losing who you are. You're putting exactly who you are into that, and I respect that so much because people think we have to change who we are in order to make those things work. Everything you said, we literally had this conversation maybe 30 minutes before we came on with you. It's just amazing. Yes. It's just amazing, like the things that we've gained so much confidence to do. And look, we put it on God and say, whatever happens, happens. We're gonna trust in ourselves, our talent, and what we know we have to offer, and let it go from there. So I respect and appreciate what you're doing. How did you kind of like marry the two, like your sense of fashion and intertwining that based around your faith?
Starting off as a graphic designer, my thing was logos, business stationery. I provided banner stand designs. I still do. I do all of that still. It's just that when I did the t-shirts, it kind of like took me in a whole nother round, kind of took off in a way. I was like, oh, okay. And so that's kind of like a lot of people, that's what it kind of see me as or notice, that's the first thing. It's like, oh, you do the t-shirts, right? I see it, you know. And so that's the thing. Because I've always been like a fashion conscious person, and I get it from my mom. I always say to my mom, when I grow up, I want to be like you. My mom is 81 years old.
Oh, God bless her.
82 years old. And my mother's always dressed to the nines. So, you know, growing up, seeing that is something that I've kind of taken on. And then when people would see me with my t-shirts and stuff, they'd be like, oh, you look, I just didn't want to just, because you can always just kind of like wear a tee and some jeans and sneakers. But it was kind of like, okay, how can we take this up a notch?
Yes.
And so that was my thing. I'm like, you know, people want to see fashion and see kind of like something different. How can I kind of add a different edge to this? And so therein came where it's like wearing the t-shirts more fashionably than just, you know, what people would normally, styling them up, adding stuff, putting accessories. And so the faith, how it marries with the faith part of it is me being a believer, me being a Christian. A lot of times I am inspired by messages, by different seminars I'm a part of. Sometimes people's life experiences inspire me, and things that I go through, I'm inspired by. And that's where the faith part marries in. So there's a message to all of my teas, most of them. There's a message to them, and it's normally some type of message that can encourage you, that can inspire, that can impact you, or something on it that you can identify with. So that's where the faith and the fashion kind of like marry together.
That's amazing. And you know, I think when you mentioned about like having your different messages on each, you know, each of your fashion and your shirts, I think, you know, they all have different messages, but I think like it definitely coincides with like one inspirational message that is just, you know, to follow your dreams and to, you know, and to believe in whatever faith that you put forth for yourself. And I think that's, if you don't mind, if that was my interpretation of your message. So I just wanted to know if that's like, if you could kind of sum up, just to give an overall overarching message as to what, you know, what your amazing work does, like what would that be for everything?
I would say, you know, I want when people look at the work that I do, I want them, three things: creative, quality,
yes,
and encouragement, empowerment, you know.
Yes.
So those are the things, or I said four.
Right, no, that's perfect.
But those are the things. And then one young lady that purchased these from me, she had like given me a shout out one time. She's like, you know, you always, you know, putting together t-shirt is something that really encourages me, you know, that really inspires me. So that let me know, okay, this is what it is. And I also, I mean, there are times that I even do like, I have t-shirts that have like woman images with different things. And that's also is, you know, may not necessarily be encouragement in a sense of faith-based encouragement, but yet it's empowerment to women. You know, like I have a t-shirt that deals with like natural people that, and I got inspired because I just went natural during COVID. You would know because I wear all this hair.
Oh. Congratulations. That's a yeah.
I
love
went
it.
natural. I would have never thought. And here I am, and my best friend's always like, you need to just wear it like that. When am I going to see your hair? When am I going to see?
Right,
you know?
right.
So that t-shirt, one of the t-shirts I have, and I think I have another one, is about natural. So and relevant things that are going on. I did I had a t-shirt that said Jesus and Justice. Yes. And that one was kind of like inspired with everything going on with all the racial tension and George Floyd. And it's like saying that even Jesus was about justice. You know, a lot of times people view and look at those things as natural and say, oh, you know, spiritual people, they don't, you know, but even Jesus was about feeding those that were hungry, giving to the poor, making sure that people were served justice that should have been served. So that was like a t-shirt that was inspired. But if I can sum it up, it empowers, it encourages, it's creative, and hopefully you find it quality. Not when you put something on and it's like tearing up. But
Exactly.
quality is so.
Yes, I just have to say I love the fact about like you mentioned that you just transitioned into your natural hair state, and then you have shirts that reflect that. Honestly, I love things that that show that, because representation matters. Like you know what I mean. Like it's always important, especially for young Black women and girls to see somebody that looks like them, whether it be on fashion, whether it be on in the media. And for you, LaVerne, just to put yourself out there and represent this our group. It's amazing, and I think that's also empowering, like you said, for young women to see what you're doing and know that they can do it too, and they can be whatever they want to be and be their natural, authentic self. So representation is amazing, and I think that you're definitely doing that wholeheartedly, which is amazing. So yes.
Empowering and inspiring, because I feel inspired.
Most definitely.
Seriously.
Thank you.
First of all, you're giving such a beautiful energy. Like me and Ebony are on the same wavelength. That's my sister. That's my best friend. So I know she feels it too. And this is exactly what we want. Like, you are the epitome of the type of person we want to share on our platform. Because we need more of this. Because we need more positivity. You know. And exactly, I'm just going back on what you said about going natural and that representation. We came across a post on your Instagram where you said self-love is a divine responsibility. And that's something we speak about all the time, and how important it is.
Self-love. There was a quote that I did do. I forget the young lady that actually wrote the quote, but it just did something to me. And my interpretation of it all is that we have these bodies, and God put us on this earth, and we have these bodies. These are our temples. And our temples that he's given us is to honor him. So we have to do right by our bodies. We have to make sure how we treat ourselves. A lot of times we're so busy giving to other people, and we're not totally cultivating and taking time for ourselves. Sometimes, you all know, sometimes you can do so much and you just like stretch yourself thin.
Yes.
And it's like, listen, at the end of the day, all I have is me. So I have to make sure I make me the number one factor. Because a lot of times we're working, we're doing this, we're doing that. And we're trying to juggle so much, we're trying to do the whole entrepreneurship thing and be boss ladies. People don't understand. It's a lot. It can become very overwhelming. And so if you don't take care of yourself emotionally, mentally, physically, you can lose it. You can really lose it, or just tear your body down, period. And then for our young ladies, a lot of times, and I mean, we know, like, well, even with us growing up, a lot of times it's all about knowing who you are. And a lot of times youth don't know. They don't know. They have to be guided. That's why we need a stronger channel of mentorship going on with our young ladies and stuff, because they need guidance. A lot of times you just don't know. When you know better, you do better. And so sometimes that self-love is not there. It may not be in the home. And a lot of times, as young ladies, you get yourself involved in different relationships and stuff that aren't the best, and because you don't know who you are, you don't love yourself and realize that having you is even enough. You're in this relationship, you're trying to do so much and do so many things, and you're losing yourself. And so a lot of, for our young ladies, a lot of it is just teaching. We have to do a better job with teaching. They have to see more examples We have to show them the way. We have to let them know that, you can do better than this, or you're doing too much.
Exactly.
And kind of pull them in. And they need to, a lot of times they just need to see more example of Black woman excelling. Black woman, people that they can relate to. A lot of times we're seeing, when I grew up, I didn't really see a lot of people that I can identify with on TV and things like that. When I had a math teacher, and it was so, I had a math teacher that was kind of like, she was that vehicle that, like, she was supposed to be teaching us math, but she was giving us like life lessons while we were in class.
Right.
Teaching us Black history and all kind of stuff that, she really, probably shouldn't have been doing according to the school system, but she was like really like throwing some knowledge at us. And that made us really aware of a lot of things going on. A lot of times, knowing your history, where you come from, what you can do, the rich history that surround you, then you feel more better about yourself, So all of those things are part of, having self-love as a youth, and then as us being older woman, seasoned woman, having this temple, having this body, making sure that mentally, emotionally, we are cultivating ourselves. We're getting that rest. We're getting those things that we need. Sometimes I have to say, LaVerne, you're doing too much. I know you feel like you can conquer the world.
Yeah.
I know you want to get all of this out tonight, but tomorrow you're going to have to do a continue, because because I'm just that type of person. I'm like a multitasker. So I like to do a lot of stuff. And sometimes I don't know how to say no. And I'm learning in this season that no is a good thing.
Exactly.
It helps you preserve your body, yourself, your peace of mind, so.
Yes. And no is a complete answer. No,
Absolutely.
It's a complete, you don't have to explain yourself when you know exactly who you are.
It is
my
okay.
apologies. So we'll do that. But I do want to get this out. It's like when you know exactly who you are, you don't have to prove or explain anything to anybody. You know what I mean? And it definitely gives you, like you said, a sense of empowerment and a sense of knowing, like when no means no, and taking care of yourself, because we only have one body. We only have one life at the end of the day. So you don't want to run yourself ragged. It's not worth it. And just that, I think just to touch upon one other thing before we get to the last point. I love how you mentioned about the, teaching and guiding the young women that are like us. Because I do feel, and I know Stephanie feels the same way, like we're aligned with this, is that we have a social responsibility, I feel like, as women who have gone through hurdles in our lives and have overcome them. We have a responsibility to our youth to not allow them to make the same mistakes along the way. Of course, you're gonna make mistakes and you're gonna learn and grow from them. But at least if we can teach them, like, listen, I did this, don't go down this route. Like it's a much better way to do it. So that, I think that with what you were speaking to and how I read that is just like of a social responsibility, like we're responsible to help them along the way, to not make it as hard as it may have been for us or generations before us. So
absolutely.
And, just to add into that, we're just amazing. That's just what it is.
It is.
Let's just say it. They are our future. I tell my daughter all the time, I want you to be better than, and that's because I know what you're capable of. And of course, like Ebony said, they'll struggle, but maybe we can't take them there, but we have to lead the way. We have to lead the way, So, yes.
Sometimes it's difficult because, sometimes you deal with youth that feel like they know it all.
Oh.
They have the answers. So sometimes you have to be a solid example.
That's right.
I like, when I was growing up, my mother was a little bit more hands-on and stuff like that. I know that now things are a little different. So how we grew up, The approach has to be a little bit different.
Exactly.
The same medicine, but the approach of how we kind of give it to them has to be a little different, where we're dealing with a whole different type of breed. So sometimes and then sometimes if you can't do it, sometimes there are other people that they may listen to. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I've been telling you the same thing, but you know, that's as long as you get it.
Exactly. As long as you understand.
As long as you understand, absolutely. You know?
Going back to like the business aspect, more of us needing to be in charge.
Yes.
Like it's so important. Because I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to work for nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
Like already trying to work out a plan, like within the next 5 to 10 years.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to another woman aspiring to be an entrepreneur or starting a business?
Don't quit. Don't give up on your dream. Seek out a mentor. For me, I was a late bloomer. If I knew half the things I had known, but like you guys say, everything comes full circle. But initially, when I got out of college, I was just doing a lot of pro bono stuff and things of that nature. And I did have a mentor that I kind of looked up to, but there were different things that I could have asked and engaged more, and I didn't. I just kind of like, well, I'll find my way. And then as I got a little bit older, I'm like, just ask, like, what is wrong with you? Like, see, if this is what you're looking to do, find somebody that's doing it better than you. Look at their expertise. Like one thing my very first mentor did tell me was, when you're trying to do something, look at someone that is at an expertise level in doing that, and kind of use them as a model. A lot of times you may not have a hands-on mentor. Sometimes you may have someone online that you look and you admire their work, and you kind of like measure up to how they do whatever. You're like, okay, you look and say, okay, let me do better because I see that they're doing this at that level. So you kind of want to get someone, or seek out someone. If you don't personally know them, that's the wonderful thing about Google and the internet that we didn't have. Go on, find out. There are, you have so many now different resources and trade schools and stuff. So, I mean, there was a time where I was like, college, you got it. And I am big on education. I have my master's. I'm like, but that may not be the route. You may need, there may be someone that may have to take a trade school, go to a trade school, or may go another route to get certified to do something, and it may not be through college. And then they're like the bomb, like just doing really great. So everybody's path is different. Get education, definitely, try to get education in anything you do. Educate yourself. But college, that may not be the thing that you end up landing, and that's going to make you great or allow you to walk in your purpose or whatever. So what I would say, again, don't give up, seek out a mentor, cultivate those skills. So you know how to do something. You have to, even after you feel like you've arrived, never feel like you've arrived actually, but when you get to a certain point, you're like, oh, I know that I've mastered. Keep cultivating, then figure out what else in that field that you can master and do. Don't give up. Don't give up. Success does not happen overnight.
Exactly.
We are all still climbing. I'm still climbing. It does not happen overnight. Sometimes you may start off, it may take you 5-10 years or longer. It really all depends. So don't think you're going to be a wonder overnight. Some people that happens to. Most of us have to really work hard. You just got to stay at it. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to fail. If at first you don't succeed, get back up.
Try again.
Don't quit. Don't quit. Get rid of the spirit that I gotta quit. This is not working.
Yeah.
So and create your own platform of opportunity like we're doing right now.
Exactly.
Sometimes you know, for me, I didn't when I got out of school, even before, like when I was in college, you know, a lot of times they ask for you to do I forget the word, I can't think of the word, but it's where you actually work in the area of which you have your degree. I can't think of the name of it. I don't know why I can't think of the name. But I was, it was difficult for me because I was working a 9 to 5. So it was kind of hard for me to find something in graphic design with my hours. So I ended up working at this lady. She was an entrepreneur. It's so funny now as I'm thinking that she was an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
And she had a financial organization. And she had me there doing like community events and putting things together and doing newsletters and stuff like that. So that was where I got my credit for that portion because I wasn't into, I think it's an internship. I don't know if they
It's
call it now.
right.
Internship.
Right.
My brain is in a fog.
No, it's
But
okay.
that's so that was the thing. And I didn't, so when I got out, when I graduated college, I didn't say, oh, well, you know, I was working at this ad agency or I was working at this magazine publishing place. And, you know, that wasn't how things panned out for me. I worked with that lady in the financial organization and got skills and stuff there. And then I just started doing stuff pro bono. I started doing things for people at my church. My friend had a wedding. I did my first wedding invitations. I mean, I just kind of created my own little platform until I got to where I was. I didn't like work in anybody's big graphic design firm or anything like that. That just, unfortunately for me, or maybe fortunate, that was not my story. So everyone has a different story of how they get to where they have to go. But that was not my story. I had to kind of like create my own type of situation to get to where I am. Thank God. Yeah. By the grace of God, here I am. So
sometimes you have to do that though. Like you said, do the pro bono work. That's how you get your name out there, you know. Sometimes you gotta take one for the team and do it just so, you know, people can see what you're able to do. I agree with that notion 100%. But what I see like through everything, you kept on the path, and I think that's what's so important. Sometimes you lose sight because we got things going on, you know, we have to live our daily lives, then all the other events that come with it, good and bad, and you lose sight sometimes in your talent. You know, you lose sight sometimes in your talent, and luckily I have this amazing woman you see before you to remind me of that. And I think that's what we want to do, is like we have to remind each other, like you're beautiful, you're wonderful, you're talented, and yes, like we could do it too, you know.
You're an inspiration, Miss LaVerne. Like this is honestly not, I have to say this on camera, like this really feels like we've known you for like, this is like the first time that we've spoken with you, and it just feels so natural. And like I feel like I know Stephanie is the same way. Like we're huge, you know, readers of energy, and like we said earlier, you just exude such a positive energy, positive vibes. And you know what you're doing and what you're putting forth is so authentic, and the messaging behind it is so real. It's not for play. Like it's, you know, you're actually giving you know, people who may feel like giving up, or who feel like, okay, I can't get my work out there. Like you're really giving them that voice and that platform to say, listen, don't doubt yourself, do what you need to do to you know, to create and make yourself better. And I just thank you. Like I thank you so much for doing what you do.
I think what you ladies are doing is so awesome. This is just really quick. I kind of read a little something and I was like, they knew each other 15 years. And I thought that when I looked at that story, I said, oh, that is a blessing. Like that's awesome to be able to put a platform like this together for other women to come and be a part and share their stories. Like, you all are the bomb. Like that
Wow,
was what,
thank you so
like,
much.
I appreciate that because there's not always that type of platform. And, you know, even when you guys reached out to me, I'm like, reaching out to
We
like,
was good too. We
you
said,
know what I
oh,
mean? Like you could have reached out to anyone, you know, that was just me.
Right.
You know, I was just like,
Of
okay,
course.
this
we
is
appreciate
bona fide. Why aren't they, you know, with all this following? What, you know, what did I say or do that, you know? I appreciate it. I really do from the bottom of my heart. I thank you guys for this opportunity. I really do.
thank you. And we
And I
appreciate
feel like I've known you guys. I don't know why.
no,
It's
like
yeah. I don't
I don't know
know.
what it is.
Me either.
I
can't
don't know.
explain it.
Let me tell you, you've made this so easy because before you came on, like, we're so nervous.
So nervous.
We're so nervous.
You were nervous. I was gonna tell you.
No. Oh my gosh. Like you heard me in the beginning. I'm stuttering. I don't know how to intro. I was just like, I was such a nervous wreck. And it's just like, you know what? You just made it so easy.
Yeah.
I thank you guys for your honesty and transparency because listen, what is so weird though, normally, like I told you guys, when it comes to the video and stuff, I'm like, oh, I know I have to do it, but for some reason, I don't know, all God, I guess. I was just like, this was different. And I even share it with my friends. I'm like, why am like normally like this whole week would have been like, like, oh God, you know, like really, because I'm an overthinker.
Yes, we are too.
So I overthink everything and it has to be right. I turn everything into a project.
Yeah.
And so with this, for some, I watched one of the episodes that you guys did, Darkness to Light, not Light, I think it was,
yes.
with the young lady. And I was just watching it, and I was like, these young ladies are like so natural, and it kind of brought me some comfort. I don't know what, you know, I was just like,
Me so much.
okay, this is good. Like, okay, okay, I feel a little bit better.
That feels good to hear because that's exactly the energy we're trying to create.
Yes.
We want it to be, you know, like this is just exactly what we're doing. We're having a conversation. Everybody comes here, be yourself, and just making the other person feel comfortable by like showing that support and that love. Because at the end of the day, even if we don't know each other before this, we all have a bond. We're women, beautiful women trying to be positive, doing something positive, you know, and that is where our bond is, and wanting to be better and do better. You know, so you don't even know how that makes because we overthink as well. We're just differently but we just try to be ourselves, you know, and the whole point of Sisters Bonafide is just to project what we share with one another. This is my best friend, my sister, you know, like and that positivity we give to one another every day. We want to share that because in this culture, it's too much. There's too much competition.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And like Ebony says, there's a piece of the pie for everybody because we all have something different to offer. So why can't we come together?
I agree. I agree.
And so that we appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Yes, we would love to have you back. If you have us, we'll love to be back. Yes.
I would love to be back.
Yes. And we will be adding a slide at the end of the video with all of your handles and websites, so that way, just in case the folks listed, they'll be able to access all of what you have to offer, because you're a queen and we're not trying to have anybody miss anything. Okay, well, everybody
Thank you, queens.
Yes.
I mean,
you guys are really awesome.
Before we go, Miss LaVerne, I mean, you know, I don't want to put the spotlight on you now, but you got to show us the vocals at some point.
At some point, yes.
Not right now.
Right.
Oh, God. So you guys want me to do something? I don't mind.
Yeah, we would. Please.
Yes.
Please.
Okay. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. Oh, my soul. Worship his holy name. Sing like never before. Oh, my soul, worship your holy name. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. Oh, my soul, worship his holy name. Sing like never before. Oh, my soul, worship your holy name.
Oh my God.
Why you
All
did
right,
that? Why you did that to me? Why you did that?
I had an emotional day already, Miss LaVerne. You already gonna stop making me tear up again. I thought I was over crying today. Oh, look, you took us all the way to church.
Do that to me. I didn't say you could do that to me.
Oh my God, I gotta get something to drink. Calm down.
That
You have
was
such a beautiful voice. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You are truly blessed. You are truly, truly blessed with, wow.
I didn't even know how much I needed.
Oh, don't cry. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Again, I appreciate you guys presenting me on this platform. I thank you for the opportunity. I just feel honored just to be a part.
So do we.
So do we. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for everything. We have to have you back on, Miss LaVerne.
Yes.
Take care.
All right, everybody. Have a good night. Until the next
Okay.
one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It's official. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Ding. Sisters Bonafide.